For me, being culturally Jewish includes the value of argument and dialectic. Chances are you've heard of the Tony Award-winning musical Hadestown, the hit Broadway show that explores ancient Greek mythology as a folk opera. If you have, then you are already familiar with Rachel Chavkin, director and visionary for modern-day theater and a total rock star. But before the bright lights of Broadway came calling, Rachel was building something even bigger, a revolution in how theater feels. But let's take it back a few steps. Rachel was born in Washington, D.C. in 1980. At a young age, she attended the Stage Door Manor Summer Camp, a performing arts training intensive which has some big names on its roster of alumni, like Lea Michele, Natalie Portman, Sean Levy, Adam Pascal, and Robert Downey Jr., just to name a few. Rachel went on to study theater at NYU's Tisch School of the Arts, then directing at Columbia University. After graduation, she stayed in New York City and directed small projects here and there off-Broadway, and found that she was drawn to collaborative, ensemble-based productions. Rachel quickly discovered she wasn't interested in producing sit quietly and watch the play theater. She wanted audiences to experience it, to feel like they were part of the story. I love theater that asks the audience to lean forward, not back. Us too, Rachel. Us too. What do you do when you want to create theater that you're not finding in the world? You found your own theater company, of course. That's exactly what Rachel did in 2004. The team, which stands for Theater of the Emerging American Moment, was born, with Rachel at the helm as artistic director. The team wasn't afraid to get weird. It was a space where artists could treat the rehearsal hall as a laboratory, as opposed to one where actors rehearsed. Their shows mixed history, pop culture, and politics with live music and movement. Imagine a mashup of Elvis Presley and Theodore Roosevelt exploring American identity, and you get Roosevelvis. Yes, this was an actual show, directed by none other than Rachel. Then came the show that changed everything. In 2012, Natasha, Pierre The Great Comet of 1812 premiered in New York City off-Broadway at the Ars Nova Theater. It was based on a 70-page section of Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace. Yeah, you know, the novel that's 1,215 pages long. But Rachel and composer Dave Malloy turned it into a Russian cabaret explosion. And it was groundbreaking. Picture this: chandeliers above, pierogies on the menu, and actors singing right next to you at your table. It wasn't a play you watched, it was a world you entered. The show premiered on Broadway in 2016 and earned 12 Tony nominations. Rachel's name was suddenly everywhere, and everyone wanted to work with her. Now enter singer-songwriter Anais Mitchell. She had written a folk opera retelling the myth of Orpheus and Eurydice as a concept album, but wanted to produce it for the stage. And who would she turn to for collaboration? None other than the collab queen herself, Rachel Chavkin, the current rock star of the theater world. Rachel heard the music and saw the potential for something epic, something timeless. Together, Rachel and Anais imagined the underworld with a gritty factory backdrop, pulsing with jazz and the blues. Anais said of Rachel, "She's a gifted dramaturg, and she's not afraid to really roll up her sleeves in the development process of a show. She pushed me to write and rewrite until the drama was satisfying." Hadestown opened off-Broadway in 2016, then toured to Edmonton, Canada, and London, England. Then it finally premiered on Broadway in 2019 at the Walter Kerr Theatre, and it was an absolute hit. It swept the Tony Awards, with 14 nominations and winning 8 awards, with Rachel taking home Best Direction of a Musical. But it's not just her direction and vision that make her a standout in the theater community. When she accepted her Tony, Rachel didn't just give a short and sweet thank you. She called out Broadway's lack of diversity in front of all of her peers. Listen, there's a reason Rachel's career is still going strong. Her work is fearless, funny, and full of heart. But at the center of it all is an artist who believes that theater is a living conversation between artists and audiences. One built on collaboration, curiosity, and the courage to imagine the world anew. Because great theater isn't about the awards or the applause and reviews, it's about the people, the artists coming together to create, share, and educate. And this is why I wish I wasn't the only woman directing a musical on Broadway this season. There are so many women who are ready to go. There are so many artists of color who are ready to go. And we need to see that racial diversity and gender diversity reflected in our critical establishment too. This is not a pipeline issue. It is a failure of imagination by a field whose job is to imagine the way the world could be. So let's do it.